You break free from your delicate, translucent egg sac, joining hundreds of others as you all emerge into the cold, oppressive darkness of the ocean. This deep, unfathomable place is so pressurized that it could crush a submarine with the same ease as a soda can. This vast black abyss will be your home. You're barely the size of a grain of rice, an almost invisible larvae drifting aimlessly through currents you can't control. Before you even understand what's happening, you see them. The predators, silhouettes moving through the murk, flashes of light attached to monsters. A lanternfish darts through, mouth wide open like an aircraft, swallowing siblings in seconds. Another flash, this time from a siphonophore, the ocean's version of a floating trap, pulling even more of your kin into the void. What in the world is happening? You wonder, watching as your numbers dwindle from hundreds to just a few dozen. In mere minutes, there's no time to mourn. You need to move, but how? Unlike other fish that swim horizontally, your body is built to swim vertically, with your head up and tail down. Your first attempts are awkward and ineffective, trying to fight gravity and the crushing pressure of the ocean. The current does most of the work, pushing you along like a scrap of paper, helplessly tossed in the wind. At least the darkness hides your struggles from whatever might be hunting. Speaking of hunting, the panic of evading death makes you hungry. Your tiny stomach growls, but what can you possibly eat in a place where everything wants to eat you? That's when you notice it. Tiny particles floating around you, falling like snow from above. It's called marine snow, the remains of creatures that have died far above, slowly drifting down into the depths. It's not fine dining, but it'll do. You open your tiny mouth, filtering the particles, taking in whatever you can. 3 weeks into your strange life, you've grown from a grain of rice to about the size of a paperclip, all thanks to the marine snow. As you continue to feed, a sudden current catches you off guard. Instead of fighting it, you let it carry you upward, faster than you've ever swum. Big mistake. Your body, built to survive the crushing pressure of the deep, isn't designed for the shallower depths. As you swim higher, the pressure begins to lessen, and the gases in your blood start to expand like balloons, causing excruciating pain. It feels like your body is being torn apart from the inside out. This is barotrauma, a fatal consequence for deep-sea creatures who venture too close to the surface. Humans experience something similar when they ascend from the depths too quickly, while scuba diving. Just as you think you'll burst, a current pushes you back down into safer depths. The pressure squeezes your swollen body back to normal, but it's not a pleasant feeling. It's like someone slowly deflating a balloon, your body being that balloon. Relieved but shaken, you descend deeper into the safety of the deep. As you do, something catches your eye. A faint blue glow. Intrigued, you drift closer, only to realize too late that the light is part of a deadly lure. Attached to it is a massive gulper eel, its mouth capable of swallowing creatures much larger than you. The light was just bait, and you, unfortunately, fell for it. The eel's jaws expand to terrifying proportions, ready to consume you. You desperately swim backward, barely escaping with your life as the jaws snap shut inches from your body. For the next few months, your life revolves around one thing: growing. But, in your case, growth doesn't follow the normal path. While most creatures bulk up and become stronger, you just get longer. By your first birthday, you've stretched to over 3 feet, a long serpentine form that barely makes sense. Your body is more like a floating ribbon than a functional fish. This new body design comes with problems. One terrifying night, a viperfish, basically a nightmare with sharp teeth, spots you and charges. You try to escape, but your long body becomes entangled in seconds. You've turned yourself into a knot, helpless in the water. The viperfish, confused by your bizarre shape, eventually loses interest and swims away. It's not often that a predator feels sorry for its prey. Unable to chase down food with your noodle-like body, you develop a unique feeding technique. You drift around with your mouth open, hoping to catch whatever microscopic particles come your way. During one of these feeding sessions, something larger than plankton drifts into your mouth. Before you can spit it out, sharp pain shoots through you. A parasitic isopod, the ocean's version of a tick, has attached itself to your stomach lining, making itself at home and feeding off your nutrients. By the time you reach 10 feet in length, the full absurdity of your body becomes apparent. Swimming forward takes an exhausting amount of effort, and turning around is a monumental task. But there's no time to worry about that when a deep-sea earthquake sends shockwaves through the water. The current becomes a violent whirlpool, tossing you around like a ragdoll. You're at the mercy of this storm, and things aren't looking good. In the chaos, a small shark slams into you, tearing your skin. Another creature takes a bite at your tail. You spin and twist, dodging teeth and claws as you try to escape. But your long body always seems to attract unwanted attention. Finally, the storm subsides, and you drift away from the chaos. You take stock of the damage, torn fins, scars, and worst of all, a permanent kink in your body. As you continue to drift alone in the deep, you spot something, another oarfish, an adult one, at least 20 feet long. After months of solitude, you feel a flicker of excitement. Finally, another of your kind. But as you get closer, you realize something is terribly wrong. The oarfish is dead, its body torn apart by predators, yet it continues to drift as if alive. This is a fate that many of your kind face, dying alone, their bodies drifting through the abyss long after they've passed. Years pass, and you grow to over 30 feet. By now you've come to terms with your strange, impractical existence. Finding food is difficult, and finding a mate is almost impossible. When you do encounter another oarfish, there's no romantic courtship. You simply meet, release your reproductive material, and move on, never to see each other again. But one day your luck runs out. A massive underwater storm pushes you far from your usual depths. The currents are too strong, and your body, with its permanent kink, can't handle the strain. You're carried upward, and the pain of barotrauma returns, stronger than before. Your body begins to fall apart. By the time you reach shallow waters, you're barely alive. Your once silver skin is now rupturing, and your organs are failing. The final insult comes when waves push your dying body onto a beach. Humans gather around, poking at your gelatinous form with sticks, taking pictures of your bizarre appearance. They call you a sea serpent, a monster. But the truth is much simpler. You were just a deep-sea creature, lost and out of place, caught in a world where you never belonged.